crazy about the negotiations falling through with that fight? Because I'm with PBC. Al Heyman gave him a 3-fight deal. In the first
gave him a 1 fight with an option for 2.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like he was going to force him to do 3.
It was with Caleb Plant, and then the second one was because it was me. They put me in the contract. That's what Al Heyman did. And I respect. And I mean, it just the deal was lucrative. I don't know why Canelo turned it down. He's getting $40 million. He was getting the more the pay-per-view sales, live gate sales. Why it doesn't make sense to me why he would turn that down.
Thank you. I've been saying that all day.
Well, I can tell you why.
I see Caleb Plant. He came out what he said, and to be honest, I don't think he's lying. I don't think he's lying at all.
No, because Canelo's side hasn't really said much either.
It's been 3 days, and Canelo's side hasn't said nothing. Eddie Hearn, Eddie Hearn would be saying something if it was a lie. Eddie Hearn has been quiet.
Yeah, but honestly, if it's not, I think the other side of it too is Canelo. He probably has a big head, and he wants to think he's a boss. He's gonna be like, no, I'm not fighting on anything. I'm giving him 1 fight. And that's it. That could probably be the other potential reason why he didn't. I feel like he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to be committed like that. Fight 3 fights for BBC or whatever. I feel like he wants to be the boss and be the main guy that runs the show. So
he wants to be Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, exactly. But like even Floyd Mayweather, even when he signed with Showtime that 5-fight deal, he signed a 5-fight deal. But and he was getting what 40-50 million too. So I mean, I don't. It's really confusing. I don't know what's going on there.
Bad news for Canelo Alvarez. David Benavidez claims that he was part of the Caleb Plant contract. That was the plan for the multi-fight deal. If Canelo were to sign and do the multi-fight deal with PBC, which he opted to go a different direction. We're going to talk about all that and more in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys put a like on this video. It goes a long way when you guys thumb up the video, hit a like to show and encourage others that this may be content that they're looking for, and it does help, help the reach. Now, David Benavidez did an interview, and shout out to Sibby Boxing. I will put the link in the description, so make sure you guys check him out. He sent me the link. Well, actually, initially I got the link. Somebody else sent me the interview, so I was hip to it. So I was talking about it in my last live stream, and then he reached out on Twitter and gave me the link. So make sure you guys check them out. Great interview. It's an hour long. I haven't watched the whole thing, but the part I want to talk about is what he said regarding the Canelo Alvarez fight. Now, you guys heard the snippet at the beginning. Again, for the full interview, I have linked in the description. So you give them credit. Make sure you give them a view. And it was a good portion from David Benavidez. David Benavidez claims that he knows for a fact, firsthand information, that the goal was if Canelo were to sign the multiple 3-fight deal, because everybody knows and everybody heard, if you stay in tune with boxing, that the goal was PBC was trying to initially, their first offer was to get Canelo on the platform for multiple fights, not just the Caleb Plant undisputed fight, right? And Canelo's team, at least through Eddie Hearn is one of the people on record that has said this. He says that Canelo wasn't looking for, he did an interview on DAZN, actually. Eddie Hearn said that Canelo wasn't looking for a multiple fight deal. He said, no, just do the Caleb fight, 1 fight, once and done. He's not looking to tether to a long-term commitment or whatever, right? And needless to say, PBC offered Canelo. Damn, Benavidez going crazy. This is my first time seeing this clip. We'll talk about that in a second. Let me pause this because this is distracting me. So, needless to say, Canelo Alvarez was then offered a 1-fight deal through PBC, and he was guaranteed $40 million plus incentivized. So there was perks. Depending on how well the pay-per-view sold, he would get a portion of that. He fought for a portion of the live gate and demanded certain things, and PBC met him. They added a rematch clause, which wasn't initially part of the deal, right? Should Canelo lose, it was a one-way rematch clause, from my understanding, which means only if Canelo lost does he have a chance to enforce a mandatory. If Caleb Plant lost his belt, then he's just ish out of luck, right? So Canelo worked all these angles in his favor and requested these various things with the back and forth negotiations, all to not take the deal anyway. And they said on the 11th hour, the fight collapsed, and we started seeing that it was dead. Now Benavidez coming out with this shocking information, which is not really shocking, but for lack of a better word, I'm going to say shocking, that he was included in the contract for Canelo to do multiple fights. Now, or at least Canelo Alvarez, they probably mentioned to him, hey, you can get great fights with our guys like Caleb Plant, and then after that we got David Benavidez for you, and probably Jamal Charlo, or maybe even a tune-up fight in between that. But he says he knows for a fact that that's the direction that was pitched to Canelo. So now it makes even more sense why Canelo Alvarez did not take the multi-fight deal, nor even establish that first point of contact by taking the one-fight deal with Caleb Plant. To me, this is a bad look for Canelo Alvarez. I've said the same thing. I think Canelo truly is a good fighter, but the games and the politics that come associated with Canelo are not beneficial to the sport of boxing. Now, the Canelo man fans, they'll say whatever. You see this kid Benavidez on this heavy bag, and he's a monster, hand speed. He's definitely taller than Canelo. I've stood next to him. I'm tall myself, so he's not taller than me, but he's definitely tall. I've stood next to Canelo, and I've stood next to Benavidez, and he's way taller, and he's hungry. I mean, listen, he talks, he's like a serial killer. Listen how he talks. He's like, yeah, dude said he's gonna shut me up. Come shut me up. That like, he's confident. He's been in the gym. I mean, this picture with Dana White is throwback, right? Throwback picture. So he's been fighting all of his life. He's a fighter. His brother fights. His dad coaches. You know, he comes from a fight family. It is what it is. He used to be in the gym, Wild Card Gym, where Manny Pacquiao would be training, etc. So it's starting to unravel, and the walls are closing in for Canelo Alvarez. And the sky's the limit for people like David Benavidez, because at the end of the day, he has a hometown fight. He's from Phoenix, so he has a fight in the Phoenix arena, and it's coming up this month. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a good fight. August 28th, this is the fight. Jose Uzcategui. They both fought Caleb Plant. If Benavidez could stop Uzcategui, that would still be a statement, even though Uzcategui lost to Plant, and then he later lost to the former TMT guy, Lionel. So I don't think Uzcategui's been stopped, if I'm not mistaken. So Benavidez has been on a tear stopping guys. He's been stopping fools. You know what I mean? Jose Uzcategui. I don't think he's been stopped. He has like 4 losses. Yeah, he's never been stopped though. So that'd be a huge statement, because to beat a guy is one thing. And I told you most of the people that beat him. And even the Andre Durrell, this was a DQ. So, you know, that was a loss, but it wasn't, you know, it was a DQ, disqualification. So he really pretty much has 3 losses. Matt Korobov, who Charlo fought, he lost to him in a 10-round decision. Not bad, you know what I mean? So looking forward to this. This will be on Showtime, Phoenix Suns Arena. Tickets are already on sale August 28th if you're in the Phoenix area. But again, this is a bad look for Canelo Alvarez as far as I'm concerned. David Benavidez said at the beginning, when you guys heard, again, you can check the full interview, which has been linked in the description. And he says, yeah, it was a good deal. It was a lucrative deal. I don't know why he didn't take it. Well, Benavidez says he don't know why he didn't take it, but I know why Canelo didn't take it. Man, I told you, I really, truly feel Canelo's a good fighter, but I also think he's a diva. He's not trying to lift his finger, and DAZN has enabled this behavior. It's like somebody who has a drug addiction and you're taking them to the store and you're loaning them money. You know, you're taking them to the trap house. You're giving them a lighter, and you know what they're going to do. You see what I'm saying? So DAZN is the enabler for sure. You know, if you really wanted to see someone get off drugs, then you can't enable that behavior. You know, you're not getting money from me. I'm not giving you the lighter. I'm not taking you to the spot, to the connect, to the plug, to pick up the stuff. I don't want no parts. I don't want nothing to do with that. You want to see them clean. Or if somebody has a gambling addiction, you don't recommend, hey, let's go to the casino. You know they're going to say yes. And if they're putting themselves in debt and about to get evicted because they're not being cautious with their money and they have addictive personality, then why would you want to take part in that? You know, why would you want to encourage that? DAZN has definitely did that with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez made a lot of money, and he made money for fights where, in my opinion, the fights that he has on DAZN, they haven't been mutually beneficial. Canelo's making X amount of crazy dollars or whatever, 35 million, and his revenue, he hasn't done over 10 million. And again, I'll probably make a separate video about that. His live gates on DAZN since the Showtime HBO days, he hasn't done over 10 million. The closest was the Billy Joe Saunders fight, and that did 9.1 million at the live gate. So he hasn't, for on record, DAZN is paying him a way bigger flat fee than he got when he was with HBO with no pay-per-view. And he has not done his top live gates with HBO or Showtime. So Mayweather versus Angulo, Canelo versus Mayweather, Canelo versus Angulo, Canelo versus Lara, Canelo Cotto, Canelo Triple G 1 and 2, Canelo Chavez Jr. All of these live gates, probably the Amir Khan fight, if I did the research, you know, just because he was at a time where his star build was a bit different. Canelo was generating different money back then. So it's really a raw deal for DAZN. And it's sad that the Canelo man fans, they want to enable the behavior too. They want to encourage Canelo to keep doing this. You know, Bivol ain't a bigger fighter than David Benavidez, especially here in America where they would likely fight. David Benavidez is a monster. I've always told you he's a monster. He had a little bit of struggle with Ron Gavril years ago, but then he came back and splattered Ron Gavril. And then his fights ever since that, it looks like he's improving. He's learning. He made some mistakes along the way that got his belt taken away, which I've documented. And he looks like he's refocused and he's stopping dudes. He's fun. He's a talker. You know it's a better fight, right? There's tons of better fights than some of the people. Like, who wants to see Canelo, John Ryder, but you don't want to see David Benavidez and Canelo? You don't want to see Caleb Plant undisputed in Canelo. You don't want to see Jermall Charlo in Canelo. So these are likely, like I predicted, the great Ego Stradamus strikes again. These are likely the fight or direction of fights that Canelo would have to fight, because PBC is not going to allow you to get that type of money, and it's not mutually beneficial. DAZN's about the only place that I know where you could do that. Like Bob Arum, even with Top Rank, he'll tell you straight up, that fight, I'm not paying Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter. Like, bro, he'll tell you straight up that this fight, I foresee that as a disaster. The only people in the whole boxing game that are allowing these outrageous purses that mess up the ecosystem of boxing is really DAZN, because Canelo's benefiting, his family's benefiting, you know, his businesses are benefiting, like, because he has alternative, like, diversified business, but the fans aren't benefiting. And DAZN clearly is not benefiting because they're not making their money back. So it is what it is. Shout out to Benavidez. I'll definitely be tapped into his fight later on this month. Benavidez is a monster. We know, even though he doesn't have a belt. And see, I got so much to say. I got to break this into multiple videos. But guys like Dimitri Bivol, some people are encouraging that Canelo fights him. He's a 175 champion. They talking about champion should come down because Canelo's the A side and fight Canelo at a catchweight or 168. That's weak. Because if you're going to bring a champion that's a champion at 175 down to 68, he's beltless. So the same fan said David Benavidez doesn't get the Canelo shot because he don't have a belt, and Canelo's after all the belts. So slowly but surely, Canelo's being exposed because his fans tell you that Canelo can't fight Benavidez because he was in the quest for all the belts. If he fights Triple G higher than 160, Triple G don't have a belt in no other division other than middleweight. If he can't fight Benavidez because he don't have a belt, then you can't justify a champion at 75 coming down to 68 where he's beltless to fight Canelo, or majority of other fights. Anybody not named Caleb Plant, that's the only remaining guy at 168 pounds outside of Canelo that has a belt. So the walls are closing in. Canelo's gonna have to take one of these fights, or he's just pushing himself into destitute and irrelevance. You know what I mean? With these politics and these games that he's playing. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Check out that interview. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off.